to show you what I do on normal days, but I do some things periodically in throughout this, and I will show that after I show you my basic routine. Before I start, I do want to say I am not a doctor. I am not a dermatologist. I am not an esthetician. I am not a professional in any way, shape, or form. I am 57 years old. I have severely dry skin in the winter, and I have relatively normal skin in the summer. I have rosacea, and I of course have hyperpigmentation and wrinkles and all that. I do not have Botox, as you can see. The only procedures I have had done is I've had Moxie laser, which helps take care of some pigmentation, and then a couple laser treatments for just like, what are they called? Broken capillaries and little, I think they're called cherry angiomas. I actually have one right there, which my daughter is a medical esthetician and she's the one who does the procedures on me. She's like, I am not willing to go that close to your eye with a laser, so I will not touch that one. So I have nothing in me, no fillers, nothing like that, which you probably can tell because I'm a very normal looking 57-year-old. So my first step is to get rid of the makeup off my face. And I have been a loyal loser. Yes, I'm a loser. A loyal user of the Clean It Zero from Vanilla Company. This is just a cleansing balm. That is by far my favorite type of cleanser. So I just take a dollop of this on a dry face, and this just starts melting off the makeup. It does remove waterproof mascara, which is what I use all the time. It takes a little bit of rubbing, but you can do it without tugging on your eyes. I like the original version. They do have other versions of it. It does have an odor to it, but it's pleasant to me. It's not a bad odor. And I don't care that it's fragrance because it gets washed off my face. I don't like fragrance on things that stay on my face, but this doesn't bother me because it goes off. My next step would be a double cleanse. My favorite is La Roche-Posay Cicaplast Hydrating Gentle Cleanser. I just use a washcloth. I don't scrub my skin. I don't tug my skin. I don't use devices. I use nothing like that. I just use the cleanser and a normal everyday washcloth. So when I rinse that off, then my skin is very clean. The next step, I just choose to do it twice a week. I do it on Sunday night and I do it on Wednesday night. And that is the Paula's Choice Skin Perfecting. It's 6% mandelic acid and 2% lactic acid, and it's a liquid exfoliant. This has a time-released 8% AHA multi-layer complex. I did a lot of research when I started using this. I wanted to find a good chemical exfoliant that would not be too harsh on my rosacea, and I do have relatively sensitive skin. There's another Paula's Choice that everyone loved. That one was too harsh for me. I just couldn't use that. But this one, I have had zero issues with it, and I started this in the winter. It says you can use it up to twice a day. I don't because I have rosacea and I have dry skin, so I still need to be very careful. And this does just great with doing it twice a week. I might decide to increase it. It's summer, so I might work into maybe a third day. I concentrate it in certain areas. I seem to get a lot of milia right here on me, so I concentrate it there a lot. And if I have any active milia, I will do it around there as well. Using this has kind of helped keep my milia in check because I get milia pretty easy. And if you're not sure what milia is, it looks like this. So if you have any of those bumps and they don't come out easily, those are not pimples. They're actually, I think it's skin cells that have kind of collected underneath your first layer of skin, and they have to be actually cut out. So I try very hard not to get those. So the next step, I do my eye treatment. I used to not really think eye serums and things were all that amazing, but I have very, very dry under eyes to the point that it always looked crusty. I never could put anything underneath it. It just always looked bad. And so I really did some deep dive on trying to find different things. I tried a whole bunch of different under eye creams and lotions and things like that. What I finally came down to was a combination of two things, which are relatively inexpensive, which is a bonus. One is from The Ordinary. This is called the Multi-Peptide Eye Serum. It's a tiny little bottle. I've used up one whole bottle and it took me quite a while to get to that point. I use that underneath my eye and I go over my eye as well. I make sure that I hit the corners because I tend to get dry right here. I don't know if it's my eye watering or something, but it just tends to get dry there. And if I have anything left on my fingers, I'll just take it and dab it around my nose. I don't know, it's how I do it. The next thing I use is again from La Roche-Posay. This is the Cicaplast Gel B5. It's glycerin skin protectant, 21%. This has been amazing. So my daughter, who is a medical esthetician, is the one who turned me on to this. She said that at their med spa, they use this whenever someone's gotten any kind of treatment done on their face. You can't put everything just directly onto their face afterward, but they want it to feel moisturized and they want to start healing the skin barrier that they just disrupted with the laser or the Moxie treatment or whatever it is they did. This does that. I've had this for such a long time and I've barely used it. And I just take one dollop just like that, and that I use underneath my eyes and over my eyes, and then whatever's left I go around my nose and all around my lips. Just that one little dollop does all of that. The combination of these two things has made a massive change. I do not have dry under eyes anymore, like never. And again, I started this in the winter when my skin is at its driest. So when I am filming this, it is summer. I am doing less moisturizer because it is summer. My skin just is at its peak of perfection in the summer. I love that. At night, I use CeraVe PM. Now in the winter, this is not enough. But in the summer, this is enough for me and it keeps my skin moisturized all night. So after I've done my eye treatment, I will just go in with this all over and I'm done. That's my entire routine on Mondays and Wednesdays. Okay, but what about on Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday? Did I get that right? I do the regular thing at night, taking off, my double cleanse that I just showed you a couple minutes ago. So the next step after I've double cleansed, I use Remedy for dark spots. This is a relatively new product, but I've finished a whole bottle of this. This is my second one and I'm probably halfway through it. And the reason why I like it is it's not just for dark spots. I know it says dark spots, but this is truly anti-aging in it. This has all of these ingredients in it. This has a lid that you just, if I can get it to go up, there you go. It goes up like that. And I just use one pump. Oop, it went over on my both hands. This one pump will do my entire face. And I do bring this underneath my eyes. I've even put it above my eyes. It's gentle enough that my rosacea, dry skin can handle it. And again, I started this in the winter, but it does it gently. And my skin is just so happy I switched to this. The only thing I don't like is the packaging. I don't like that I can't tell how much is left. I'll put on the screen here how long it took me to go through one bottle. So I do it on my face and then I'll take another pump and I'll bring it down my neck and onto my chest here. The thing I also like about it is that it spreads easily. Like some of these things you think I'm supposed to use this little dollop along my entire face and it doesn't spread easy. This spreads easy. After Remedy, I use my under eye serum and my under eye gel. When I'm done with that, I go in with my moisturizer and I'm done. I didn't want it to be complicated, but if you'll notice, I'm using products that there are multiple things within the product. This has that huge list of things in it. So it's not like it's just this one thing. This has multi-peptide. So it's a whole bunch of different peptides. It's not just one. It's different kinds of acids. I feel like skin does much better when we have a few different ingredients mixed into one, but I don't want to do all the mixing. I am no chemist. I'm no dermatologist. I just want to be able to get something on my skin that's going to make it look its best. I'm not trying to look 20. I'm trying to look as best as I can as a 57-year-old. And that's what these things have been able to help me do. In the morning, if it's the middle of winter, I will not wash my face again because I just don't need to add more products onto my skin that might potentially dry it out. I have very dry skin. The winter is the worst. So I just take up my washcloth that I used the night before. I will wet it down and I will just wash it across my face. No extra cleanser or anything like that. And I've heard from many dermatologists who say that's all you need. Okay, after my face is clean, I go in with the Timeless Vitamin C. It's 20% with ferulic acid and vitamin E. I've used this for quite a while, actually a couple years. I started out with the 10% because I felt like because I have rosacea, I shouldn't use the full 20%. But then I switched to the 20% and my skin did fine with it. So I've stuck with this. I love that they added the vitamin E into it. So it feels soothing, it actually feels hydrating on my skin. And I just do two squirts of this, and I just kind of press it into my face, and then I bring it down to my chest, and I always end up on the back of my hands. Then my next step, it's my 2 combo of my serum, the Ordinary's Multi-Peptide Serum, and the Roche-Posay, I always forget the name of this, Cicaplast Gel B5. So the one I did at night, I do again in the morning. The only difference is I don't put it on my eyelids. I put it all underneath my eye and on the corners, but not the lids itself. Mostly because it's just too much product to then maybe go in with an eyeshadow or anything like that. Like it could crease easier, and I don't want it to do that. But I've had no problem being underneath my eyes. And can I just tell you how much my hair is driving me insane right now because it's going in it. I try to leave it down sometimes, but it drives me crazy. Okay, that was a little side note. It's time to moisturize. Now in the summer, when it is very high in humidity, I don't need as much moisture on my skin, but I do need some. I will usually go directly in with an SPF or a sunscreen. My favorite ones are Neutrogena's Ultra Sheer. This is a 60 plus. I love this. It is moisturizing on my skin. I've had no issues with it being underneath makeup. Or I will go in with the CeraVe. This is a 30% SPF. This one's definitely not as hydrating as this one. If I truly feel like my skin is a little bit more dehydrated, before I do that, I will go in with the CeraVe. Let's turn it over, Bobby. The CeraVe PM again. I don't like the AM version of this because it has an SPF in it. And you'd think I like that, but I don't. I don't like how it plays underneath makeup. I don't like how it feels on my skin. But the PM is just the PM without the SPF. This I love. It's very light. Now, what am I going to do in the winter? I don't know. I'm still trying to find my favorite moisturizer for winter. So I will have to update you guys on that. But for right now, this is what's working for me. If I do use the PM one, I will go in after and use an SPF. I always end with an SPF. I put my glasses on. I couldn't stand it anymore. I had to get my hair out of my eyes. So that's my basic routine throughout the week for the summer. Again, I will update when it's wintertime. A couple procedures that I do outside of this routine. One is I do shave my face, and I've done a whole video on mistakes to avoid, but basically I just dermaplane my face. When I've done that, I always use this. This is the e.l.f. Gentle Peeling Exfoliant. This to me is a miracle worker. Some people say it's totally gimmicky. Somebody said it was cellulose that was coming off of my skin. I don't care. What this does is it makes my face feel so clean and exfoliated, and all the dead skin is off. Like, it just worked for me. So I love this. I will put this on dry skin and it literally pills. You see the little balls of whiteness coming off of my face. And it makes my face just so amazingly soft. And then after I've done that, I will go in with just an oil, and I like the Ordinary's Rosehip seed oil. I've used this for years, and that's how I end up my routine that night. That's the only thing I do. I shave, I use this, and then I use this, and that's all. By the next morning, I'm perfectly fine to go in like a normal routine. The other thing I do is I do tan my face, and I do believe that is part of my skincare routine. Here's why. I like to have my face look like it's been sun-kissed, but I don't like the damage that all that sun can give. So I protect my skin all the time. I wear hats, I wear sunscreen whenever I go outside. But I do like the look. So I do self-tan, and my favorite is Tanologist. After my face is completely cleansed, I will take one droplet, and that's all that it gives me. Like, I can't bring more into it than that. I put a couple squirts of moisturizer in the palm of my hand. Then I take the droplet of this and squirt it in. The biggest thing is to make sure it's completely mixed. It has to be very, very mixed. And then I rub this all over, under my eyes. I do my eyelids, around my nose, everywhere, onto my ears, down my neck. I go behind my neck and onto my décolleté. And that makes a huge difference to me. I always feel like I look just like I've spent time outside, but I don't get all the damage that would come with it. And here's the thing, my basic routine fits in this. Now my cleansers don't, but my day-to-day, daily things all fit within this. And that's important to me. I wanted it to be an easy step-by-step process. I just kept hearing from dermatologists that less is more. This is what works for my dry, rosacea sensitive skin. I thought I would end this video with far less makeup than I've had on most of throughout this video. The only thing I have on now is eye makeup, some mascara, and I did my brows, and a little bit of lip color. Everything else is me. Please do not pay attention to the fact that I have this thing. I literally nicked my forehead with my nail and it took a layer of skin off. You can see I do not have perfect skin. I've got hyperpigmentation. I do still have rosacea. You can see the redness. It's died down a lot because I do take good care of my skin. I'm very happy with the results that I've gotten so far. If you're interested in seeing what I used to do, which was still an amazing skincare routine for most people, I'm gonna link that video right here. I will see you maybe in that one or another one. God bless.